And welcome back to a brand new video, and the winds are back on this bank holiday Saturday, and just look how rough that sea is. So it's high tide in about 20 minutes. We're going to sort of get down there, have a bit of a walk along, and it's going to be a bad one. Just like I said, we had some fantastic weather, and just look at it now. Come and join me. So we're gonna make our way down, and you wouldn't have thought this would be like the tail end of May, the weather like this, after wonderful weather we've been having. And you see the sea is already rising up. Look how horrible this looks, and it's actually pier on pier as well. I wouldn't fancy being on the North Pier. Let's get going. So we've just got down the bottom end, and it is horrible. High tide is in about half an hour. It's slippy as anything on the old shoe, slippy as anything. Let's just even get a little bit, not going to get too close, and let's have a bit of a look. It looks horrible. Look how mean the sea looks. Look at that. Awful. So as we carry on walking, hear the sirens. You probably won't be able to hear it in the background, and I don't envy. Look at that wave, look at this. You wouldn't have thought, you know, a few hours ago it was wonderful sunshine, absolutely gorgeous, and look at it now. Very, very slippy on the foot this is. I'm holding on for dear life. And so like I said, we're going to head over towards the North Pier. Oh, it's rotten, it's chucking it down the rain. It is awful. You just see, literally you can see the sea. Let's just have a bit of a look, and I'll just show you. Look how it's whipping up. Whoa! My God. Look at that. I don't think I'm going to be going too close. It is getting very, very high. So that's just a bit of a look back towards the go-kart track, and we've often filmed around here. Let's just whip the camera right round. So we're going to head past that wonderful little cafe, hole-in-the-wall cafe, and head over towards the North Pier. I wonder if it's going to be cancelled, the pier on pier tonight. So we're just near the hole-in-the-wall cafe. Let's just move the microphone a little, and you can see how choppy it is. Like I said, another sort of 30 minutes, 25-30 minutes before the high tide strikes. And it doesn't look that bad probably on camera, but when you're down here, it is very, very rough and very choppy. And just look, let's just see if we can zoom in a little bit for you guys. Let's see if we can zoom in, and you can see how it's crashing against the sea walls. And all of this right down to the Gynn roundabout is going to be rejuvenated by the sea defences. They are currently in Cleveland, but by 2028 I do believe they're coming all the way down, basically where I'm standing at present. So let's continue that little bit further. Like I said, we're going to head over to the North Pier, and just see if like I said, the pier on pier is still going. And like I said, you wouldn't have thought, you know, a few hours ago it was lovely weather. You had the dance on the comedy carpet, all sorts was going on, and just look at it now. So you see there's the tower lit up in that like sort of a yellow greenish colour, and how small does it look? So we are just sort of coming up towards the Metropole Hotel, and it's deserted down the lower decks. And like I said, what awful weather. You know, I feel sorry for people visiting Blackpool, you know, especially on a bank holiday. It always happens on a bank holiday. And like I said, we're going to continue all the way along the promenade. So you just feel the beating of the music on the North Pier. Even we're sort of, you know, right across from me, you can still feel and hear the music. So that's still going full swing. Like I said, another sort of 20 minutes before high tide, unless I've got the high tide wrong. But it is getting a little more choppy. I think I better just back up a little bit and see a rogue wave possibly coming right over. So I've just backed up a little bit. You can see it's coming in more and more now. And you know, in fact, I've got my calculations wrong. It's about another hour before the high tide. So I just had a quick look on the phone. It's about another hour before the high tide. You can see the tower is now lit up in like a purple colour. So let's move on towards the comedy carpet, have a bit of a look, just see who's around on this stormy bank holiday. So we have just reached the beginning of the North Pier, and you can just hear the music going as we head on. Look at all the reflection on the ground. It's wonderful that all the lights lit up, and you can just see the tower also lit up in that like wonderful purple blue tonight, and it sort of changes colour all the time as we keep heading past the North Pier onto the comedy carpet, and we'll head over to the central pier. But let's just whip the camera around a little bit. You can see, let's have a quick look. You can see all the clubs and the pubs busy, the counting house, all sorts. Look at that. And again, shenanigans, heaving again, Yates busy again on this, like I say, this horrible stormy weather on the bank holiday. So we just got to the lower decks. We're going to have a bit of a walk, a bit of a walk, oof, along towards the central pier. Like I said, another half an hour before high tide. You can see a couple there just braving it. And like I said, one rogue wave, that's all it takes. But it's always nice, like I said, just capturing something like this on video. So you can just see how wild this sea is. It's obviously been a lot more wilder. We've filmed a lot more in worse conditions. It's just like pure white, the sea at the moment, and there's no one around walking around normally. You know, it's absolutely packed along the comedy carpet of an evening. There's so many people walking around, even enjoying the beach, looking at the sunsets. Not tonight. Not tonight. And there's the central pier. You see the big wheel is not lit up tonight. I'd imagine, you know, if it was a lovely evening, that will be going. People be enjoying themselves. Yeah, not tonight. So I just walk to the end. Like I said, about another 35 minutes of my calculations now, the high tide will hit. Just a bit of a shot of Blackpool Tower and Coral Islands, and just see how quiet it is. And like I said, it's a Saturday. Saturday is not even, you know, that late, and there's not really anyone in sight apart from the old party goers. Let's just whip the camera slowly around. You see all the wonderful lights. But like I said, it's all deserted. Look at that. Completely deserted. Just look at the old lollipops. That's bent right over. It's been a long time since we've seen them in that position. Just a bit of the shot of the North Pier. And You see all people are coming and going. I think most people are deserting it now. You see them all walking off. I'd imagine they're probably going to go somewhere a little more warmer. Some of the bars and the clubs around Blackpool. So I'd imagine, like I said, when you're out to sea on the bottom end of the pier, it's going to be very, very cold and very rough. You just see them all. If you can see it on the screen, a lot of people are now vacating the pier as the tide rolls in. So we're going to head back along the lower decks and head over past the Gynn Square and head in a little more towards Bisbam area. And again, it's incredible. Like I said, all the water on the ground makes a wonderful picture. That it's all the reflections, and it's such a shame. Like I said, in bank holiday as well, all the families and people would have come down to enjoy a bank holiday weekend. So like I said, we're going to head over towards the Gynn roundabout, head that way, and up towards the Bisbam area a bit more. So it's quite surprising. You head more towards the north side, the Gynn roundabout in Bisbam, and it's a lot more rougher the sea. And you come more towards the sort of like the North Pier and Central Pier in the sea. It looks quite calm. You see, it looks quite calm here. And I'd imagine that's probably why, they're building the sea defences, because it gets attacked a lot more, like from like the Clevelands all the way down to the Gynn roundabout. It gets attacked, the sea defence walls, a lot more, it's put under a lot more stress and strain. So nevertheless, I said we're going to head over and keep going up towards the Bisbam area. Just see how pitch black it is down here. So the old night vision is on the camera, so I'd imagine it'd probably be a little more lighter. But I wouldn't fancy sort of wandering. I mean, there's me saying I wouldn't fancy wandering around at night time. There's me wandering around at night time. And yeah, so we've filmed many a times along here with the storms, and there's plenty more storms, I'd imagine, sadly coming Blackpool's way over the forthcoming months. And like I say, you can just see some of the waves just crunching over the wall. And like I said, this wall has got to be sort of like, I'd say 25-30 meters in height. And when there's a bad storm, it really does come over and you get absolutely drenched. I've lost many a camera along this stretch. Just arrived at that little hole in the wall cafe, and we went there a few weeks ago. Absolutely fantastic food, really sort of great people who run it, very friendly and always up for a bit of a chat. And that's like the old Colosseums. And just in there used to be deck chairs. You used to hide deck chairs out back in the day. Absolutely amazing, and now the old can't even say it, the tram transformer lays in there. I think there's two of them which are in there, which are no longer in use. And what a restaurant that would be. Just imagine that, or sort of a little pub or something like that. So like I said, we are just near the Gynn roundabout. You can see there's a soul there, and I know what he's doing is taking a bit of the views in possibly. You can see him there, and you can see how rough it is down here, where it's all battering the sea defences. Let's just whip over, and you can see it's always a little more rougher up this side. So that's just a bit of a shot looking back at the tower. You can just see how grey and dark the sky looks on this Saturday late evening. Look how horrible that looks. It just looks like a winter day. an awful, awful winter day. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's video. Like I said, the sea is very rough, and it's a shame as it's a bank holiday. But like I said, don't forget, consider hitting that subscribe button, hit the notification button to be notified of all the upcoming videos. And until next time, look after yourself, take care, and it is a bye from me. Bye bye.